What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of the Black Dad Chronicles. I'm your host, Courtney McIntosh. I got a special guest riding with us today, my wife, Robin. Go ahead and say hello to the people, honey.
Hey, everybody.
Now, the reason why my wife is on the show today is because we're going to do a special, not necessarily a couples edition, but just some tips on, marriage and keeping your marriage thriving, ups and downs. We're going to give you guys 5 tips for a healthy marriage. All right?
We doing 5 apiece or 5 total?
5 apiece.
Okay.
So 10 total.
We'll put some of ours overlap.
No, only one of ours. Well, 2 of ours overlap.
Okay, so we're only giving 8 then.
Okay, we're giving 5 apiece. All right? And if they overlap, they overlap.
Okay.
All right? All right, but first, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor of today's episode. I have 2, in fact. The first sponsor I want to give a shout out to is Kate Couture. Now, look, everybody. Everybody got birthdays. You got Mother's Day coming up. You got Memorial Day coming up. 4th of July in the summertime coming up. You're going to need desserts. But a lot of us, we don't like, spending the time slaving in the kitchen to make those desserts, especially if you got everything. You got the ribs popping, barbecue chicken, all that, greens, yams, all that. A lot of people don't want to spend time on making desserts. So what you do, go out and get the box and the box frosting, and that's not good. But my homegirl Shania over at Kate Couture will hook you up with anything you need. She does corporate events, weddings, birthday parties, holidays, Valentine's Day, all of that. So you can get in touch with her. Her website is couturedcakery.com. That is COUTOURED cakery.com. All right, so before we get started, I just said before we get started, didn't I? All right, so before we jump into our discussion tonight, I'm introducing a new segment to the show. And I'm introducing this segment as a specific purpose. This segment has a specific purpose in mind. And one, it's to hopefully get me to read more. So I want to introduce the book of the month. Got a book of the month here at Black Dad Chronicles, and this is something I'm going to start going forward. So at the first podcast of each month, at the beginning of each month, I'm going to give you guys a book that I'm interested in reading for that month. And we're going to, hopefully read it. I'm going to read it. Hopefully you guys read it. Y'all give me some feedback via the Facebook page, email. So this week's book, and I got introduced to this book because I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, which is the Combat Jack show. Combat Jack had on his show Raoul Peck. And if you don't know who Raoul Peck is, he is the creator and director of the documentary I Am Not Your Negro, which is a documentary based off of James Baldwin. And a lot of people so he basically told the story of what went into making the documentary, and it took over 10 years to produce. He also brought to account how the Baldwin family didn't just work with everybody, but they saw his work, they knew his work, so they let him have access to, everything about James Baldwin. So one of the books that he brought up was The Fire Next Time. And I'll be honest, I used to read voraciously as a kid. I used to even read a lot when I was a teenager and a young adult, especially when I was in the Navy. All I did when we were out to sea was read. I remember on our 6-month deployment, I probably read biography of Malcolm X maybe 3 times the entire deployment. It was 6.5 months. But getting married, kids, more kids, we have 3. I found less time for reading And I've put that time in the other stuff, like, hanging out with the kids or relaxing with Robin or just doing things that aren't, reading. So I'm trying to get into more. I'm trying to get back into reading because I love reading still. I read comic books all the time. I love comic books. I'm a big comic book fan. I told y'all I'm at the comic book store every week. So the book of the month is James Baldwin's The Fire Next Time. Now, it's a short book. It is only 100 and... Wow, it's really short. It's 105 pages. 106 pages, sorry. So I suggest you all go out to the library or your local bookstore, see how much you can find this book for. I got it for really cheap on Amazon. I think I paid like $4 or $5 for it. So that's why I decided to get it. Plus, I'm a Prime member, so I got it quick. So that's the book of the month. James Baldwin, The Fire Next Time. So let's read it, enjoy it, and hopefully talk about it. All right, baby, you ready to get into the discussion?
Sure. Sure.
All right, so we are going to give you our 5 tips for a successful marriage. And we're going to, alternate turns of who goes. She's going to go first because, it's ladies first. So let's jump right into it, Robin. So what is your first... Okay, so first, tell the people about yourself.
Wow. I am 35. I'm a wife. I am a mom.
You are 35, aren't you?
I am 35.
That's right.
Yeah. You forgot how old I was?
I forgot how old I was. Oh,
wow.
Sorry.
Anyhow, I work at Panera. I am one of the catering coordinators at our store. I have worked for Panera for almost 2 years. Wow.
You can give them the interesting stuff, not like,
Leave me alone.
your work history and stuff.
Shut up. I'm supposed to be at this point. It's about me.
Told you it was violent. She just hit me, y'all. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I love to sing. I love music. I've always loved music. If I could do any one thing in life, it would be music all day, every day. But, of course, life has other plans, and you adjust and you do what you got to do. Not really much else to me. I don't feel like there is. I love God. I want my children to love God. That's about it.
Oh, boy. Anyway, my wife is amazing, okay? I can just stand here all day and just shower her with compliments and stuff. And she's just going to bashfully smile and shake it off. But we don't have time for that. We want to get into this episode and give y'all, tips for a healthy marriage. All right, Robin. So this is how we're going to go. You're going to go first. Then I'm going to go. Then you're going to go. Then I'm going to go. And we're going to alternate till our five suggestions or tips are exhausted, And if we have to adjust from there, we adjust.
Okay.
All right, so what's your number one?
Number one for me is communication. Communication is kind of key. It's important in everything. It's funny because you always used to say, I'm not a mind reader. And so I've started to try and tell you things that irritate me, things that bother me, things that I like, things I don't like. I've become more vocal.
Which is good because a lot of times, and you hear this complaint from men all the time, honey, I'm not a mind reader. Sometimes it seems like, you all, and I deal with this with my mom too. So it's not just your significant other, it's women in general.
Whatever.
Don't hate me, guys. Just I'm doing something wrong and you'll give me a look and I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? And then what would your response be? silence or that blank stare. Robin gives me this blank stare that I just cannot stand. Oh my goodness, it's so annoying. And our son gives me that same blank stare sometimes when he's in trouble. And it just drives me
crazy.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
All right, so expound on that. Communication.
I mean, communication, it goes both ways. It's because in reality there are things that you used to not say or whatever the case may be, and you would expect for me to know what was going on with you too. Or when you were irritated about something, you would just not say anything. I used to do that just because I didn't feel like the argument. I didn't feel like having to try and explain it. Because depending on the situation, you still might not understand fully what I'm saying. But you have to communicate, because how else are you supposed to know and be able to adjust or fix whatever's going on if you don't, explain or tell what's going on?
I mean, and communication doesn't always have to be, communicate when it's a problem.
Yeah.
Communicate when things are going good, or if there are certain things you like,
Communication.
Communication works. Be it like, babe, I don't like these shoes, you know what I'm saying? Or this tie, you know what I'm saying? You bought me this tie, and thanks for the gift, but I don't really like it. Or even if it's like, things in the bedroom. Mainly if it's things in the bedroom.
Especially if, not mainly, but especially if it's things in the bedroom.
You got to communicate.
Yeah.
All right. So your number one was communication. My number one was communication too. And basically you took the words right out of my mouth. So I don't think I have to expound on that.
No.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
All right. So what's your number two?
My number two, I guess you could say it's remember you. And when I say remember you, it's more of remember that you're a person separate from your marriage.
So you mean like remember who you are?
Remember who you are.
Okay.
Because if you don't know who you are outside of your marriage, you won't know who you are inside your marriage either. Because knowing who you are helps your spouse to know who you are as well. But you can't let them know who you are if you don't know who you are in the process too. As a mom, as a wife, it's easy to put yourself on the back burner and to not focus on you. I know I did that for forever and forever and forever. And so finally it's like, okay, I know some things that I like and that I like to do and that I can do with you or I can do without you, as opposed to everything that we did before was me, you, and the kids. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go out. I didn't hang out with anybody. I didn't do anything. I had basically forgotten who I was in the whole scheme of things just because being a mom and a wife came first. But I've come to realize that in being a mom and a wife, I'm still me. And I have to be happy in the whole process too. And if I'm not happy, what did it say? Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
If I'm not happy, then that causes issues in marriage. That causes issues in
your personal
life. Causes issue with your family, your friends. It causes issues altogether. So, yeah.
That was good. That was good. Okay, so my number two is always date your spouse. And this is kind of like, so I kind of, your second point, I kind of say that was kind of like in the self-love, type of category. But always date your spouse. So you can get to a point sometimes and where, you get into your marriage and you're like 5 years in or something like that, depending on how long y'all dated. So funny thing about me and Robin is we didn't date long. I never actually viewed her as someone, initially, I didn't view her as someone I would, settle down with and marry. She was just,
your Your nerdy friend.
My nerdy friend who helped me with my homework and played video games with me.
Which is funny because I don't do that now.
No, she doesn't. She avoids video games like the plague. Like, we can't even get like a family game going. You know, she just won't participate at all. But anyway, so so me and Robin got married really young. Like, and we only dated. We dated. Let me see. We officially became a couple Good Friday 2003, and then June I was going off to boot camp. So we didn't necessarily date at all. She was just always at my house. We were always together. So we grew up together, you know, basically, because I was 22, she was 21. Mm-hmm. You know, both of us had, you know, we had prior relationships, but nothing like, you know, it was weird because, you know, I enlisted in the Navy. She enlisted in the Navy. Then she got pregnant.
It wasn't I got pregnant. I was pregnant when I enlisted.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when she found out, you know, the Navy released her commitment, but I stayed because I was like, yo, I don't want to stay in Detroit, and I ain't gonna be able to support no family on a Walgreens salary. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be able to. I needed a way to support us. So, you know, I joined the Navy. I originally, you know, wanted to go to the Air Force because one of my ex's grandfather, you know, he told me after I got out of, you know, after I left Eastern, because I didn't complete it, like, you know, if you can't find what you want to do, just go to the service. Just do the Air Force. It's easy. You know, just do 4 years and be out. So went to the recruiting office. You looking for the Air Force, and ended up talking to a Navy recruiter, and that was it. So, you know, like I said, we officially became a couple on Good Friday in 2003. July 18th, I was off to boot camp. You know, we didn't see each other for 2 months, but we wrote all the time.
Yeah.
Man, we was letter writing. So sometimes I would get like 3-4 letters a day from Robin. And I would just be writing too, because, you know, we couldn't write all the time. Like the main day that we really had to write was Sundays. Sundays we didn't have any classes or anything, so we just, you know, that's what we did: shine our shoes and wrote letters home. So, you know, we grew up together. So when you with somebody for so long, you know, you stop noticing when they do things that are special, you know.
Hey, that's not the one you're on.
What? I'm on Date Your Spouse, right?
Yeah, but doing special stuff is a totally different one.
No, not necessarily. Okay, so anyway, forget what I just. No, don't forget what I just said. It has context, but and see, without Robin, I'd be losing my mind. But so yeah, always date your. You know, sometimes fellas, you know, and women do this too. You can take for granted, you know, the little things that they do. Like, you know, we go out, Robin get dressed up real nice, and, you know, I just be like, all right, you ready to go? You know, not really complimenting her or anything like that. And, you know, then she like, it get to a point where she like, why am I continually dressing up and you not even noticing? You know, advice that can go both ways. But you always want to date your spouse just to show them that they are appreciated, and you appreciate the little things that they do. You appreciate when they get dressed up and, you know, all that makeup done, hair done up and all that. You know, fellas, fresh haircut, you know, new shoes, whatever, you know. So always want to date your spouse because you never want to let that flame extinguish. You always want to keep that flame going, you know, regardless of how long you've been married, how old you are. Because me and Robin have been married almost 14 years. Damn. Yeah, because it's 2017. Yeah, almost 14 years. So, you know, that's a long time to be up under somebody. And like I said, we grew up together, basically, you know. You know, so you always want to keep that flame lit and not grow apart, you know. So that's my number 2. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is kind of sort of along the same lines. It's for those of you, For those of you who
She
have
apologized
kids,
because she wasn't like, we're sitting, we have one microphone that is kind of in between us, but she was looking the other way. So I'm like, you got to talk into the microphone.
which you think I would remember since I sing, but
Yes.
whatever.
Okay.
For those of you without children who are just married, same thing. Remember to date each other. With children, though, remember that it was you guys together before the kids. And once the kids grow up and they're out of the house, it'll be you guys together still. So you want to make sure that in that process, you don't lose each other. The same things that you did, it's the whole kind of cliche thing that they always say, the same things that you did to get her, you do to keep her. Same thing goes for us women. Same things you did to get him, same things you got to do to keep him. So if it was, you bought flowers randomly, or you bought cards randomly, or just a random, hey, how you doing text, or just whatever it was.
Or some freaky deaky text.
Oh my God.
Sorry, go ahead.
Or whatever it was, no matter what it was, you want to still keep those things going, just because once that's gone and you don't remember why you were together in the first place, it's hard to get back to where you want to stay together. And a lot of times people stay together for the kids, and then once the kids are gone, you separate. And that's not how it's supposed to be. Because you're supposed to be together even though the kids aren't with you. Through the good and the bad, and the ups and the downs. No matter what, you're supposed to be there. So, same thing. He just said,
The Bible says a man leaves his mother and father and cleaves to his spouse. So that they become one.
Yes.
All right, so.
Your number 3.
My number 3 is, do not bring your insecurities into the relationship. Not necessarily into the relationship. Because you're going to bring your insecurities into the relationship. But don't let your insecurities ruin your relationship. And I can say this from personal experience, man. So, like I said, Robin and I have been together for almost 14 years. And during this time, Robin didn't have no guy friends. None at all. So you know what I thought? I was like, I'm her Adonis. I'm the only dude she look at. You know what I'm saying? I take my shirt off and flex. You know what I'm saying? And, that's it. I'm the only dude she see. Robin never had male friends. Now, all of a sudden, Robin starts, exploring herself, and I'm using air quotes, which y'all can't see. Robin is, exploring herself, trying to figure out who she is. And, going out to, not the clubs, but just going out to listen to some live music, because that's what she likes, with her homegirls. Shout out to Trina.
That's my thing.
Yeah, that's her thing. She likes to listen to music or whatever. So, Robin is enjoying the music, so she's enjoying the she's getting to know the band. So now all of a sudden, because I wasn't going out with them at first, so now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Robin got male friends. And now it's like, whoa, the hell you need male friends for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a blow to my ego. And what happened was, instead of thinking like, I'm the only dude Robin has eyes for, like these other dudes start coming into the picture. And not that she had eyes for them, but it was just kind of like my insecurities like kind of roared to the forefront. So I'm like, oh, what does she need to have male friends for? You know what I'm saying? What does she need this for? Why she ain't got to be talking to them dudes and nothing like that, So I was very insecure. So, Robin has friends, one in particular, and we're not going to go there.
Thank you.
Because she doesn't want me to. But damn it, it's my show. I'm going to go there. So Robin has a friend. He will remain nameless.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not going to bring him up on the show because, like I said, that's your friend, not my friend. You know what I'm saying? So, and...
We talk on a regular basis.
Yes. So, and this is probably going to spiral into a whole nother conversation. But yeah, they talk on a regular basis. So I said, you know what? You ain't going to have no conversation with another dude that's not your pops or your brothers. That's private. So run your phone. Let me see them text messages. All the while, not finding nothing there. But it was still like my insecurities kept me, looking and searching and trying to find something there to kind of justify the fact that I was just like wigging out. And the difference is, like, I've always had female friends. Like, I've had female, I have more female friends than I really have male friends, that I can call true friends. Is more female than male, but that's how I always was. I was the king of the friend zone. And growing up, high school, I was the king of the friend zone.
Hey, focus.
I am focused. I'm telling, this is a larger part of the story.
But you don't need to talk about how, you don't need the friend zone over and over again.
Okay, anyway.
Keep going.
Will you stop?
Keep going.
Listen to this.
I'm just saying.
Let me be great.
I'm just saying. You are great. Yes, you are.
Okay, so anyway. So I've always had female friends. But Robin never had guy friends. And it was just kind of like, yo, where does nigga come from? Oops, sorry, excuse my language, because I don't necessarily use strong language on this show, but I do use the N-word, you know what I'm saying, sometimes in regular speech, not around my white friends, or white people in general, just a disclaimer. But, hey, I use it. But anyway, my insecurities could have got the best of me, and for a time, I thought they were, because I was being so sneaky and just starting to become obsessed with going through her text messages and trying to find something there, but that I was just find anything and just blow up. Oh, what is this? What do this mean? What does this mean?
And it would never be anything. And after the fact, you sit back and you're like, okay.
I feel like an ass for blowing up like that.
Because it's nothing.
No, because it's nothing. Now, it was one thing, Now, I'm like, yo, don't be sending flirty text messages or whatever.
And it's not even like it was a flirty text message. It's not even like it was a flirty text message.
But it would be kind of, sort of.
An emoji.
Yeah. Yo, fellas, don't let your girl send emojis to another dude, yo. Never that. But anyway. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You need a hose?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. So, anyway. So I let my insecurities go. Like I said, it was driving me insane.
Yes, it was.
Until I had to sit down. Yeah, it was driving her insane too, because she would be getting pissed off.
Like I've never given you any reason not to feel like I'm not going anywhere. Right,
she hasn't. With Robin, I've never felt she was going anywhere. So, yo, don't let your insecurities. If you feeling a way about something, you really got to talk it out, because
communication.
Yep, communication. See? Right there, boom. That's why communication was at the top of our list.
Yep.
But anyway, so don't let your insecurities ruin your marriage, because they can get away. They could block your greatness. They could block your blessings. And really, kind of tear you apart. So, what's your number 4?
Number 4.
Oh, she was smart. She wrote hers down.
Number 4 is always say I love you. Always say I love you, even when you're mad. Especially when you're mad, actually.
When you're mad.
Oh my God. Especially when you're mad, just because if, let's just say he's mad at me and he doesn't want to talk to me and he doesn't want to hear what I'm saying, I say I love you, and because we say it back to each other, I'm not going to say it changes the mood, but it does something.
that's her trump card, because she know if she says that, I always respond back. I always have to say it back.
Yep.
Because she's gonna keep hounding me if I don't. But I do the same thing.
Like my birthday, when we went out and you were
Let's
mad.
not go there.
I'm just talking. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was mad at her on her birthday this year. And then we went out and she just would not. I tried to avoid her.
And every time he came around.
And she just would not leave me alone.
I'm like, I love you.
And it was just so goofy and annoying that I eventually had to say it back.
Yep.
And then she wouldn't leave me alone for the rest of the night.
Oh, of course not.
But we was drunk too, so.
You were very drunk.
And I don't get drunk, but I'm
Not
a
at all.
lightweight. That's why I usually only have a sip of wine anyway. So is that it for your number 4?
I guess so. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. You just say I love you. I mean, it should be one of the first things you say in the morning, or one of the last things you say before you go to bed, or one of the last things you say when you get off the phone. Additionally, it's something you say when you're not together and when you're out and about, just because you don't want the last time that anything to happen, and the last time that you got off the phone with the other person, you were just walking through the store and you said, okay, bye.
Right. So another thing that we do is we don't say bye to each other. And I started this years ago because bye is like
So final.
So you know what I tell her? I say, hey, peace out.
Which I thought was weird in the beginning. And it took me a minute to adjust. Because it's like, I had never had anybody not say bye getting off the phone. Or, okay, bye. Or, just, it was weird. So now it's funny when my mom, she'll actually end the conversation with me sometimes with peace.
I got her mom saying it. I got my mom saying it.
And I chuckle.
Our kids say it,
Yeah.
just because I just never, it's like once I got married, like before we got married, I didn't think about it. But once we got married, especially once we had kids and I was in the Navy, it was just like, nah, bye is too final. You know what I'm saying?
That was when you started it when you went on deployment.
Yep. So, it was like peace, yo, or peace out. And now, like my mom, peace. It's so funny. Shout out to Mom Dukes. But anyway, that was what, your number 4?
Yes, what's your number 4?
My number 4, and this is switch up from what I told you earlier. Never go to bed angry. You cannot. Listen to me, I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot, never, ever, 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 ever go to bed angry at each other. Because guess what? Tomorrow ain't always promised.
Yeah.
You hate for, and this is where y'all get into an argument and you mad at each other, and then you go to bed, I don't love you. Don't say, you love your other person, and then, you wake up and they don't. Well, the last memories you're going to have is y'all was arguing, y'all was mad at each other, and that's it. You ain't get a chance to say bye. So, regardless of what we mad about, and I can honestly say, I've never went to bed mad at Robin. Regardless of how mad she's made me, I've never gone to bed mad at her. Because you know what I started doing now? Like when we mad at each other, like we could just be like 2 seconds from an argument, I roll over, give me your hands, we gonna pray. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We will grab each other's hands and pray with each other. In the midst of our anger with each other, we still gonna go to God because, He brought us together. We feel like, our marriage is supposed to be centered on Him, and our marriage is centered on Him, but, you got to go to God with everything, especially if it's a problem. And a problem in marriage, like, you can never go to sleep angry at your spouse. Never. Regardless of what you're angry about.
And I can be honest and say that I can't say that I haven't. But me being angry doesn't stop me from saying I love you. And me being angry doesn't stop me from giving you a hug and a kiss before we go to sleep, even though I may not want to.
And even though I might not want it.
True, very true.
She'll still roll over and just give me a peck on the cheek or the forehead or whatever. You know, but, you know, whenever we arguing, like I said, especially if it's right before bedtime, and sometimes I be looking at her face and she be like, yo, I ain't trying to do this right now. I just want to go to sleep. But I'm like, nope, we're going to pray together before we go to sleep. And we're going to pray our way through this argument and through this fight. So, my number 4, never go to sleep angry with your spouse. Now, before you get to your number 5, I want to give a shout out to our second sponsor. All right, come on, babe. You can't be coughing all on the podcast.
Sorry, I have a cough and it has not gone away.
Well, you know I ain't got the software to edit that out, so, you know.
I understand.
I guess I got to step my podcast game up. So, I want to give a shout out to our second sponsor. Second sponsor of the Black Dad Chronicles is Relax by J Mace. Fellas, even ladies, if you're looking for some, you know, jewelry, some earrings, a bracelet for your girl and you don't have a lot of loot, or you want to get her something different, something you like, she may see, and it'll stand out. Yeah. When my boy Johnny Mason got the fire bracelets and earrings and beads, all that, and I share them on my Instagram all the time. You can go to my Instagram page, Black Dad Chronicles on Instagram, all one word. I share it on Facebook all the time. And I've even gotten 5 bracelets from him myself, you know, paid for him. It's not like he hawking me, he giving me, you know, free jewelry to sponsor the podcast. He gave me one, but it was for my birthday. But, you know, man, I'm not a guy who wears jewelry. Usually the only thing I wear is a watch and my wedding ring, but I will rock these bracelets, you know, any day of the week. Especially because I got several of them, so I can find one to match whatever I'm wearing. So, you know, on Facebook or Instagram, go to Relax by J Mace. You know, that's REA. Oh crap. RELAX by J Mace. All right, so now let's get to your 5th and final tip. And stop laughing at me because I misspell relax. You know, you got them words that, you know, you always misspell. Like, for me, it's restaurant.
Which is hilarious because you've worked in many restaurants.
Yes, but I still can't spell restaurant without a spell check. Okay, what's your number 5?
All right, so number 5. You sure you don't want to do your number 5 first?
Yeah, I mean, ladies first. Why?
Do your number 5 first.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Yes, do your number 5 first.
All right. So, my number 5. Stay faithful.
Well, I guess they go together.
Stay faithful. Now, a couple years ago, I made the mistake of nearly stepping out on my marriage. And through much prayer and forgiveness, Robin was able to forgive me. Then it happened a second time, and Robin was able to forgive me. You know, stay faithful to your spouse because then you don't want them problems. I didn't even physically cheat, and I didn't want them problems that, you know, what I did. I ain't gonna rehash it on the podcast. I ain't trying to get slapped up.
You wouldn't get slapped up,
but you just don't want them problems. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is more important than your spouse. Nothing is important enough to come between you and your spouse and wreck your marriage. No person is important enough to come between you and your spouse and wreck your marriage. Trust me, fellas, ladies, you don't want them problems. You know, it's just a headache. And sometimes some people, it's a big enough headache to where, you know, the affected person wants to end the marriage. So stay faithful. You know, it's kind of self-explanatory. Keep them eyes on your spouse. Robin, I only got eyes for you. My eyes stay on your eyes and your booty cheeks. I had to throw that in there. Anyway, so that's my number 5. And now she's all embarrassed, smiling and stuff because I said booty cheeks on the podcast. Go ahead. What's your number 5?
All right, so my number 5 is actually kind of goes slightly with what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's making sure that your spouse is satisfied in the bedroom.
Oh, snap. Elaborate.
Okay, so during these periods where you almost, did something.
Stepped out.
I
was stepping on. I was a habitual line stepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like that gray area. Yeah. But anyway, so I am big enough and woman enough to accept the fact that in that whole time I wasn't doing my job to make sure that he was satisfied in the bedroom. I will say I was pregnant both times. And so in being pregnant, you're tired, you're sleepy, you're moody, you're irritable, don't touch me, all that good stuff. But I did not think about what that was doing to him in the process too. Now, I'm not saying that it should have been every single day, whenever he wanted it, whatever the case may be, but it should have been more than what it was. Because at that point, I don't think it was hardly any.
I wasn't getting none, yo. Like, it was dry.
Yeah.
Like the Sahara Desert, yo.
So, then too, you have to you really do. You have to make sure that your spouse is satisfied. And if that means that you're trying new things, then you try new things. If that means that, the same thing that you've done for the past XYZ years is what they like and that's what they want, then that's what you do. But you have to be open to trying new things, and you have to actually, on the other end of that, you have to be open with what you want. Communication. Still the number one thing.
Yep.
It's really in everything that
in all of our tips, it's in communication. But, I think as humans, we are inherently selfish, right? So, especially in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So, especially guys. I'm going to get mine and just go to sleep. I'm going to just get mine, you know what I'm saying? And then, you get yours and your girl just, laying there mad. You know what I'm saying?
When you stay mad long enough, that's when you're number 4.
Yep.
That's when that comes into play.
Yep.
Yeah, that's especially when that number 4 comes into play.
Yeah. So you can't be selfish sexually. You know what I'm saying? You cannot. Like, I'm gonna get biblical again a little bit, but we become one. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm probably screwing this all up, and I'm misconstruing it. But hey, my body belongs to you. Your body belongs to me. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be selfish. Like, I can't see you like all hot and bothered and, what I'm saying, loins on fire and not do nothing to extinguish that fire. You know what I'm saying? It's my duty as your husband to quench that fire, to put that fire out. You know what I'm saying? So you don't find another fireman to put that fire out. That's my duty. Same like it's your duty. You know what I'm saying? My loins burning. You know what I'm saying? I need my thirst quenched. It is your job to quench that thirst, to put that fire out. You know what I'm saying? So, it's about not being selfish. And I know I got some friends who I'm not gonna call out, but if he listening, he know who this is. You know what I'm saying? I got some friends that, be selfish. And I'm like, bro, you want to know why you ain't getting none? Because you being selfish. So not wanting to be selfish is, kind of changed my whole approach to approaching Robin in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? I'm more interested in pleasing her first. You know what I'm saying? Helping her get hers first than, me getting mine. Because then it's like, yo, she get hers, I'm good to go. Then it's just like, I get mine and we done. I'm not all, I used to be in a rush just to get mine, you know what I'm saying? But not anymore, you know what I'm saying? Because it's more important, the shared experience of, sexuality between us is more important than just being selfish and getting mine and leaving her laying there, thirsty.
You are hilarious.
I just got to weigh with words, baby.
Yeah. Additionally, though, you also taking it the other way on like you being like the guy being selfish.
Girls can be selfish too. I ain't giving that nothing.
Yeah.
He ain't tell me my shoes was nice. He ain't getting nothing. That's how, hey, Robin was like that too. Like, I come home and she clean the kitchen up and I'm not acknowledging, you know what I'm saying? Oh, baby, the kitchen look good. Yo, I wasn't getting none. I could look at her and be like, yo, babe, I'm trying to get some. And then she would look at me with that blank stare. I'd be like, yo, see, y'all should know question. And she'll keep looking at me with that blank stare.
That you understand should be your answer.
I'd be like, ah! Because, it was the blank stare that I hated so much, so. Because
in that aspect, it didn't make me feel appreciated.
Right.
And that plays a part, too. Like, you have, that goes back to my number 2, the things that you did before, the things that you acknowledged before.
Mm-hmm.
You have to still acknowledge it. It's all a part of it. Everything goes together. It's not going to change the fact that I like to be acknowledged that, I did something super around the house, or that, like you said, that my hair is different and it looks nice, or you notice that I have a new pair of shoes, and you know me in shoes. So for me in shoes, I know that you don't necessarily care.
Oh my goodness.
But I like when you just say, hey, those are cool.
Robin be asking me like, yo, should I wear this shoe or this shoe? I'm like, yo, they look exactly the same.
And they'll be totally opposite.
Except for the strap was different, but it'd be like the same color and everything.
No.
Yeah.
I don't have that many of those shoes.
Okay.
But anyhow, as far as like keeping your spouse satisfied in the bedroom, if you are willing to keep your spouse satisfied, they'll be more open and willing to keep you satisfied too.
Boom! That's some knowledge right there. So I got a bonus one. Were you finished with your number 5?
Sure. What's your bonus one?
So I got a bonus, honorable mention. And it's kind of, and Robin mentioned it before, keep doing the little things. Like, one thing that I would do that I stopped doing was buying Robin flowers. And, we were having an argument about something one time, totally unrelated to her, getting flowers from me. And, she just all of a sudden, and you used to buy me flowers all the time, and now you don't buy me nothing. I'm like, whoa. Like, yo, that ain't even what we was arguing about. You was telling me about how I didn't take the trash out. But
Communication.
But, you got to do the little things, man. Like, if she dress up, tell her she look beautiful. You know what I'm saying? She throw that makeup on and, got the hair looking right. And you like, baby, you look good tonight, man. Them jeans. Girl. Lucky you ain't staying at home. You got to do the little things, man. Whether it's acknowledging, like, her cleaning the house, or, buying her flowers just because, or buying her a card just because.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some days, if I come home with a red pop, you know what I'm saying? Robin's like, oh, thank you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Or a squirt ruby red. And she, it's like the little things like that. Things.
Yeah.
She appreciates that stuff, and you got to keep the little things.
So it's funny because there was a post on Facebook, and it's like, can you, and it was a post that was mainly geared towards the ladies. It was a guy that posted it, and he was like, it was a meme actually, now I'm thinking about it. It was a meme that said, would you be okay with having $28 for a date? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with $28 for a date. I'm fine with $5 for a date. We can go get coffee and we can have a date. Because it's not about what you spend. It's about, one, the fact that you wanted to hang out with me, that you wanted to spend time with me. But two, it shouldn't require a lot for a person to be happy.
Especially when you're in love and all that. You know, you done said your vows. Shouldn't take much.
Because then the other thing that I brought up, because people are like, you know, why are women lowering their standards and know your worth? I can know how much I'm worth, and if we got $30 to go out on a date, we got $30 to go out on a date. It's that simple.
Facts.
You trust me. It's been times where we're like, okay, it's date night, but we got $15.
Like, yo, we might have to go to McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, get the 2 cheeseburger meal.
No, we ain't going to McDonald's. We can go to Wendy's. I'm not going to McDonald's.
Get that 4 for $4.
We can get the 4 for $4.
2 4 for $4, $15.
Actually, that ain't $15. It's only $8.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So,
2 4 for $4 and red box. Woo woo.
And still have money for ice cream.
Still have money for ice cream.
Yeah.
Frosties, 99 cents.
Right, see?
Find some change in the ashtray or the cup holder.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
You figure out how to make it work.
You make it work, son. Make it work.
But I brought up on that one how, you know, when our grandparents were younger, they didn't have a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And
they had cows and tractors.
Cows and tractors? I wasn't going cow and tractor.
Well, that's because my grandparents are older than your grandparents were.
Yeah.
So my grandparents grew up on the farm.
My grandma grew up on the farm.
But yeah, you know, but it was kind of more modern because she was younger. So it wasn't like a farm. It was like...
Great grandma grew up on the farm.
Okay, I said grandparents, not great grandparents.
Okay, well, whatever.
Specifics.
Excuse me. Anyhow, so I brought up how, you know, they didn't have a ton of money and they were fine with going for a walk or having a picnic or just doing a walk and going to a movie or, you know, like it was the little things. It wasn't about the money. And it shouldn't be about the money. It should be more about the time that you spend together. And if you're getting to know each other, you really just need to be able to get to know each other. And the money
with
shouldn't
no
be...
distractions.
Right. The money shouldn't be such a big thing that if you go on a date and you only have $30 that, oh, I'm not going on a date when all you got is $30 to spend on me. No. How about you do this? How about you pay for you and I pay for me, since it's that big of a deal? I wouldn't care.
Yeah, but you know, people don't do that.
But people don't do that anymore. So.
Do you remember our first date? I don't think we ever had a first date.
We never had a first official date.
Dang, man, that's crazy. I mean, well, you know, it was kind of like a whirlwind.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. We hung out
all
the time.
Yeah, we didn't exactly...
We didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we didn't. We just... Like I said, hung out playing GameCube, man, NBA 2K at my house. So, all right, baby, you ready to wrap up?
Sure.
All right. So, I want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast. You don't have to do it. And I know it's been getting longer and longer each week, and I'm sorry. I really want to keep it around 30 minutes. But, you know, the last 2 episodes were interviews, and then this episode was, a little husband and wife, little tandem podcast that I'm probably gonna, do maybe once or twice a month in the future. Once again, I want to thank all you guys for listening. If you want to get in contact with the show, if you have any suggestions for topics, if you have any tips, if you know any dads who want to tell their story, shoot me an email at blackdadchron@gmail.com. That's blackdadchron, CHRON, all one word, at gmail.com. You also can hit me up on Facebook. The Black Dad Chronicles Facebook page is live. The podcast is on iTunes. Just share it, like it, download it, 5-star review. Tell your friends about it. I'm on SoundCloud. Man, SoundCloud be tripping, man. They talking about I only got 3 podcasts up there, and they told me I reached my limit. I'm like, come on, SoundCloud. So I'm trying to work that out. I'm trying to get on Spotify, but I am on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find the show, The Black Dad Chronicles. And once again, you can follow me on Twitter at Black Dad Chron. You can follow me on Instagram at at Black Dad Chronicles. You can email the show, like I said, blackdadchron@gmail.com. And that's it, man. You got anything else you want to tell the people?
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank y'all for listening. Shout out to everybody who takes the chance to listen to me every week. Shout out to my subscribers because I got subscribers on SoundCloud. I got more on YouTube. So I just want to thank everybody who takes the time to listen, man. I'm just a regular guy, a dad who just telling y'all his story. You know what I'm saying? So I want to end this episode with a prayer. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm going to end every episode with a prayer. So, honey, since you're the special guest on the show today, I'm going to give you the honor of leading us in the first prayer as we get out of here.
Wow. Okay.
Not a Baptist one. We ain't got like 15 minutes.
Okay. Dear Lord, we thank you for the day. We thank you for allowing us to be here. We thank you for everyone who is listening. And we ask that you would just touch each and every person that is listening right now. Touch their households, their family, their friends. Help them get through anything that they are going through. We just love you and we bless your name, Jesus. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Black Dad Chronicles. Peace.